I am playing graphics high and frame rate 60 frames per second. Some people may say that graphics medium or standard would be the better choice, but it depends on your device, of course. And some people are saying that if you're playing medium graphics and frame rate still keeping it 60 frames per second, you're getting less lag in online games. I haven't experienced really big lags. I mean, I feel like if I was playing even on low graphics, some people are using the connection of a snail, and essentially there is nothing I can do and no graphics can influence that. But some people are saying that changing the graphics helps, so keep that in mind. I'm playing on everything at highest potential just because my device is capable of doing so. These are the settings that I'm using to play online games, and I get used to this. And it doesn't mean that you have to use the same settings, but here we go. The classic control type, there is advanced way to control your players, but I feel like, especially when you're playing online games, when you need to do this lofted through ball or something that is requiring you to press a button and then swipe. When you're playing the advanced control type, where you have no buttons pretty much and you need to do some gesture swiping motions on the right side of the screen in order to execute shots, passes, dribbles, it feels like it is a little bit delayed, so I don't really like that at all. Some people are using that. Good luck to you guys. I mean, I'm old school like that, and if Konami is not introducing better way to control your players, the classic control type is quite fraudulent as is, by the way. The fact that you have the same skill move executed, like 3 skill moves executed with the same control, and Konami decides for you, you can't cancel the passes, you can't really switch manually when you want to. Sometimes this game has a lot of flaws, but the control type classic is the control type that helps me at least get rid of some of these flaws, right? The directional stick type, there is a way to have stick type fixed when it is something that I prefer playing, because I don't really need to reach a lot, and I feel like the device that I'm playing on, this iPad mini, it feels like I'm having it in a position where I'm fine with that. The movable one is, I feel like, would be very useful if you're playing on a small phone. So I believe when you have movable, it's not appearing all the time. So experiment with movable if you have troubles with fixed, but I'm playing with fixed as is. And none means that you are just swiping and you're guessing that you just swipe and this is the direction where your player should be going. Probably not recommending you using that at all. Auto sliding is assisted. There is, by default, I think it is on semi-auto. I like assisted because it means that when I'm double pressuring opponent and I'm covering the space that I want with my other defender, the defender is controlled by AI, is making the slide and tackle for me. And assisted is the best. Yes, I got some red cards for assisted sliding tackles, but it was worth it because it wasn't a penalty. They usually don't do this in penalty area as well. But in configuration, I didn't change anything. I feel like this is, since the FIFA days, it's been the same. Pass, shoot, through ball and dash for the skill moves. It's the same type of controls. I like it. Defending, switch the player, pressure, tackle, dash. I didn't change anything. I like how it looks. The button opacity, I have it at 40%. Although I'm doing that for the content creation purposes, so I want my screen to be kind of semi-translucent so that you can see more of the pitch, and I intuitively know where my buttons at. The cursor type is player name. It is something that we got used to. There is different way, action actually interesting, different ways to establish that, and everything else I have on switched. Next player indicator, display radar, display stamina gauge, com control player name, the cursor change. This is important. Like, if you are playing on a competitive level online game, you can't use assisted. Like, it is like you can probably, but I'm telling you that most of the people who are grinding their ratings, want to finish the games as like the match days, get the coins as fast as possible, win more games, they're using manual. Why so? Just because when you're positioning your defenders, you want to be the one who is deciding to switch, right? You don't want the game to decide to switch on the player when you run into a different direction with another player. Because if there is a long ball to Mbappe, you want to make sure that you're catching him earlier than he is actually getting that ball, receiving it, and getting ready for that shot. So for that, in order for that to happen, you need to make sure that the run of the defender is not interrupted. He is running straight, he is continuing defending for you. So you're doing that by two ways, either double pressuring, allowing AI to do that for you, or you're switching that manually. And you run there with your defender and letting that defender make the interception. When the cursor change is assisted, the game decides for you that, oh, the ball is over here, there's danger. And this is where you probably would want your player to be switched. And when you're switched, when your player is switched, this very moment, there is a slight delay. It is impossible. You can't readjust so quickly because the player was running, then the controls are switched, he stops for a second. And if you continue running, you need to gain acceleration. You need to still understand the direction where you should be following the player. It might sound really complicated, but believe me, manual cursor change for defensive work is the right way to go, because you will be able to position your defenders properly across the pitch and maybe cover the spaces that are being exposed by your opponents, like ping-ponging 1-2 passes or whatnot. And when we speak about the camera, it is being selected in-game. So the camera in this game, I like dynamic wide because I can see more of the pitch, and the camera kind of pans a little bit every time the game develops.
Estaba rondando, pero ahí estaba él para cortarlo. Giggs. Balón para Cavani. Llega la ocasión.
So you see more of the pitch, and that is how I like my camera to be. I mean, if I really want to do the skill moves, I probably would be doing something like mid or just wide, and so that I can see the players closer and I can perform the final dribble. Otherwise, I feel like the camera on dynamic wide is the way to go for me. So I hope this video was useful and it finally answered the questions. Now you know how to score goals, how to win games, and all the secrets you know there.
Parece que sale de esa. Tiene la mirada puesta en el área. Mete un salta para rematar. ¡Gol! Y el tanto subirá al marcador. Y con eso se culmina la remontada.
Todos los jugadores han hecho un gran trabajo con esa transición rápida y contundente entre defensa y ataque, ¿eh? Contragolpe perfecto.